friends. I cannot believe that we already have completed another month. April just done, dusted, check it off the list. We're heading into May, which is just crazy to me, but also so happy because that means that we're closer to summer months. Living in the Pacific Northwest, there is nothing better than a summer here. I swear, I know some people are probably gonna think that's crazy, and we endure 9 months of gloom for those 3 months of summer of it just being absolutely stunning here. However, I'm getting so far ahead of myself because it was April, so let's focus on April. April was another great month. I'll be honest, I did a really poor job filming a lot of the books that I was reading. I read 6 books last month. And I think that because it was one of the most emotional book reading months that I've had in a very long time, it was hard to just pull out my camera and film and vlog while I was emotionally so devastated at times. I tried to capture the moments, the ugly sobs, especially after Sunrise on the Reaping. Man, Sunrise on the Reaping. Y'all, that is really truly a heartbreak of a book. I mean, you'll see it, you'll hear about it. You'll definitely see it. Oh my gosh. Did some fun activities outside of reading. We went to the spring fair that was here. My best friend drove down from Seattle. We had brunch. There was just so many things. The owl is finally back. Guys, that's not gonna make sense to anybody until you actually are watching this vlog. We live near a greenbelt and there is a pair of owls that lives near us, and so we see it quite often. And we did not see the owls for like 2 years. So finally seeing them again, I actually almost cried. Guys, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm also just a highly emotional person. Maybe these books made me even more emotionally susceptible to just crying at like everything. I don't know. Maybe actually it was kind of a boring month if I'm capturing owl content to show you guys instead of more book content. Yikes, yeah, maybe we'll unpack that later for myself, okay? Okay, enough yapping. Welcome to my April. Okay, so I have about 100 pages left in The Vow of Thieves, which is the final book in the Dance of Thieves duology. And I am stressed. I feel like things are starting to look up, but I just have no idea how this book is gonna end. So, I just love the banter between all these characters, like across the series. It just, I love it. I am such a sap for these books and these quotations. This is just such a good way to end this duology. So I finished the Dance of Thieves duology last night with Vow of Thieves, and that was easily a 5-star fantasy series for me. I absolutely love the characters. I love the world. I want to be in that world. I want to know those characters. I feel like there's so many storylines that could come from this world, and I hope that Mary E. Pearson just continues to write it. It was such a good series that I'm afraid that I'm going to go into a reading slump, and so when I feel that way, I genre hop. I'm just in the mood and needing a cute, whimsical, cozy fantasy book, which I have an arc that I need to read called The Folklore of Forever that comes out on the 8th of April, so here in like 5 days. And so I've started that. I'm only 6 chapters in, but I'm already really enjoying it. It's definitely fast-paced. I think that when you're used to reading fantasy books, you're used to plots and stories being really drawn out over multiple books, and it's not like that, but that's honestly exactly what I need. I need a fast-paced, cute little practical magic type, and that's what I'm getting so far with this book. Funny, I have to read this on my iPad though, because for some reason the ARC copy did not send to my Kindle, so now I'm reading it in the NetGalley app, which like reading on my iPad just feels crazy because like this is just huge. Like it feels so inconvenient, but yeah, so that's what we're doing right now. I cannot believe that I finally had a good find in a little free library. I swear every time I look for books, I just never luck out. And I finally found a book that's actually on my TBR. I heard really good things about this series. Definitely feels underhyped, and I cannot wait to start this. Finally! Recently started a new book, The Sunrise on the Reaping. It's the new Hunger Games book that recently came out that I've been dying to finally start. I've seen so many people talking about it on social media. Probably saw quite a bit of spoilers, but at the same time, is it a spoiler when we already know so much about Haymitch later on in the series? I'm liking it so far. Definitely gonna be really interesting just to see how his games actually play out for him. I finished the Folklore of Forever yesterday. It was an arc. It comes out on Tuesday, the 8th of April. And I'll definitely be talking about that book more in depth at the end of the month, but what can I say other than it's almost as if you were reading a book in Luna Lovegood's mind. The writing was a bit chaotic, just the characters in general, like she just felt so much like Luna Lovegood. Like she's a little bit quirky, a little weird. At times I wanted to stop reading, but yet kept reading because I'm like, what is gonna happen? I need to know. I don't know if I'd recommend it. Anyways, it was a really interesting romance, witchy type vibe book. However, really looking forward to reading The Sunrise on the Reaping, finishing this book hopefully before Fearless comes out on Tuesday, which I cannot wait for. But let's get emotionally destroyed first, shall we? I have been doing a terrible job at vlogging my experience reading Sunrise on the Reaping, and it's not for lack of really enjoying the book, because I am. Honestly, the entire Hunger Games world I really enjoy, the way that Suzanne Collin writes. It's just because most of the time I'm reading this book in the evening after my son has gone to sleep. My husband and I have finally settled down for the day, and I just don't always want to film during those hours. And so that is why you've not been seeing me vlog reading this as much. But again, I am enjoying this book so much. Honestly, I think despite knowing how this book ends, we all know that Haymitch wins the games. Obviously, he ends up being the mentor for Katniss and Peeta in the original trilogy. So we know that he wins. It's still really devastating to read how things are turning out in this book. It's kind of a spoiler to share certain things about this book, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm really enjoying Haymitch's perspective and just seeing the connection between this book and the other books it's been fun. I don't know, it's weird. It's like you'll be reading it and you're like connecting stuff as if it's like a real world and you're like learning all the history. Yes, this book is amazing. If you're a fan of the Hunger Games, you need to be reading it. I have about like a third of the book left, maybe like a quarter of it left. So my goal is to hopefully finish it today, especially because I'm waiting for my copy of Fearless to arrive. I swear, Barnes & Noble, what is the point of me pre-ordering something to hopefully read it on release day for not to get there on release day? I still love Barnes & Noble, but my gosh, that's like my biggest qualm with it, I swear. Could I have just driven 30 minutes to get my copy? Probably, but I don't want to do that personally. I don't want to go drive 30 minutes out of my day. That's an hour round trip. I just don't want to do that. Hopefully we'll be able to finish this book in the meantime. Also, speaking of reading other books, I started Enchantra yesterday. It came out. It's on Kindle Unlimited, which I thought was amazing. I needed a book to be reading on my Kindle. I think I'm like 65 pages into that. I think I'm really going to enjoy Genevieve's perspective. April's going to be a really, really good reading month. I know it. But enough chatting. It's time to read. It's like, despite knowing everyone dies, it's still an absolute gut punch reading it. Dude, the connections are actually crazy. Like, obviously I know this world is interconnected, but just seeing the way that things click into place and the way that Haymitch is figuring everything out, it's like, what? That is so much worse than I thought. That is one of the worst ways to go out. Oh my gosh. gosh, I'm like snot ugly crying right now. Gosh. What is it about this entire series? I'm gonna be okay, I promise. It's finally here! I pre-ordered this months and months and months ago, and of course it was delayed. But it finally got here and I cannot wait to start. Basically, I'm just reading back-to-back emotionally devastating books. I just finished Sunrise on the Reaping, and now we're gonna go head right into this, which I am stoked about because it's one of my most anticipated reads. I cannot even wrap my head around what's probably gonna happen in this book. I'm actually gonna be really sad when this trilogy is over. Let's begin. The way this man has me kicking my feet and giggling. Annotating for the first time on a physical book. I do this when I read from my Kindle. I'll highlight and make notes, but I've never done it with a physical book. I feel like in a way that's kind of time consuming, and so I'm not always like, oh, let me pull out my camera and like set up and vlog and then also be doing all of this other stuff, because then it's like hard for my brain to like stay super focused. I have so many thoughts and theories already forming. Like, is Kit sick? Because he keeps coughing during scenes where it just doesn't really make sense to be coughing. It's not like, oh, I'm covering up like a smile with like a little cough or something. Like, it's said so often that I just feel like there has to be a reason for it. Does he die? Like, it kind of makes me nervous. Ugh. Other than that though, anytime Kai Azar is on a page, I am kicking and giggling. It's too good. I'm so nervous. I still have like quite a bit left, so okay, so I bought better annotating tablets, so I'm actually gonna spend some time before I start reading tonight going back, taking out these tabs and putting nicer ones in that also are gonna color coordinate a little bit better with what I have in mind. I think I know what I want to do here. I like need my hair just like off my face. I think what I'm gonna do is a dark green for plots. I'm gonna have probably some sort of like a light pinkish color for like cutesy little love quotes, and then I might do like a gray for things that I find funny. So like usually when I'm annotating in my Kindle, I've never annotated a physical book before, but I really wanted to do it with Fearless because it was a book that I've just been dying to read. And so usually I just keep it with like 4 categories, like anything that's plot or theory related, love, yearning type of quotes, things that make me laugh, and then like quotes or things that are profound or like sayings that are like, oh wow, like that is applicable towards like real life that I feel moved by. I have like those 4 main categories that I break things up into, so I think that's how I'm gonna go ahead and divide my annotating. The fact that the plague altered animals and their intensity, their size, just the powers that they have is actually insane to me and kind of like really intriguing at the same time. I think this is like a really cool tidbit that Lauren put into this book. But holy smokes, I am so stressed right now on this ship. Adina literally haunts this entire narrative. And it makes me so sad for Pei and Mac. Wait, did they just... Lauren, you dog. Oh my gosh. I have 88 pages left in Fearless. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna finish it right now. Fingers crossed this ends on a happy note, because honestly the last little bit that I read, a part of me is like, was that not a deal breaker? I don't understand. There must be another way to unite this kingdom. So let's find out. Kit is off of his rocker. He's giving Targaryen. I have a lot of thoughts towards the ending of that book that we will unpack at a later time. I've been absolutely awful with vlogging this month, my current reads, and quite honestly, I think it's because Sunrise on the Reaping and Fearless just emotionally drained me. I haven't been very like gung-ho wanting to film my reading experiences because I've been a little slow, been a little bit of a slump type of week and a half, and I'm in the middle of 3 books because of it, because I got bored with one book, want to start another one, I have an arc that I need to read, and so it's just been a bit chaotic. So I thought that we'd go ahead, we would make a matcha together, because that is my drink of choice. I absolutely love it. I know some people are like, it just tastes like grass. Well, you're not wrong, and that's why we add an aggressive amount of sweetener. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna make a matcha, and I'm gonna just chat about the books that I'm currently reading. I'm almost done with Enchantra. I'm at, oh my gosh, oh no, I'm almost out of vanilla. I'm at like the 20% left in the book, I think. I think that I like Phantasma more and Ophelia as a character a little bit better than Genevieve. Don't get me wrong, it's a good story. And like I said, I needed something a little bit more lighthearted after Sunrise on the Reaping and Fearless just emotionally took me out. I'd probably give it like 3.5 stars, maybe, which is not a bad rating. 3.5 stars. I think 3 and above is honestly a really good rating to have on a book. And then I'm also reading an arc that I got, which is the Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. It was originally a Hermione and Draco fanfic that got turned into an actual book, and it comes out in July. I'm about 30% of the way into that one. The dialogue is definitely just kind of quirky and fun, and I can definitely see how the 2 characters are based on Hermione and Draco. Just the vibe, the energy that they give off is very much those 2. And then I started Shadow of the Gods. Man, I just got stuff all over the floor. So we're just gonna go ahead and ignore that. I'm gonna go ahead and add my matcha into my cup. Yeah, are these like the most sustainable cups? No, I do need to find like an actual like much better ice drink situation than what I got going on right now. I started Shadow of the Gods, and if you've ever seen Vikings or The Last Kingdom with Utrecht, this book is very much giving that type of energy, that type of vibes, but with like a mythical component to it. Very much enjoying it. I'm only like 15% of the way into that one, so not very far, but I have a feeling I'm gonna really, really love that series. It's almost like if you liked Aragon maybe growing up and that type of feeling, then Shadow of the Gods would be a really good book choice for you. delicious because I added so much sweetener. And it almost like defeats the purpose of having a matcha. But those are the 3 books that I'm currently reading. I'm going to try to be so much better about vlogging my experience while reading those books. I also have a few other books I'm hoping to get to before this month is over. We'll see. I think so far, if I finish those 3, I'll be at 7 books read, which is tracking really well for not even having an audiobook this month either. So kind of crazy. I'm gonna go enjoy this drink and go do some other things, and I will fill you in more on the rest of this month. That is such an aggressive chapter title. It took me a little bit to fully get into this book. I'd say around the 30% mark is when it really started to take off for me. The dialogue exchanges and the inner monologue is like nothing I've ever read in a book before. I've got to find a good one here to read to you guys so you can understand. Okay, like this. His cleft chin clefted majestically. Who wouldn't want to heal this? There's just little things in here that are just like, they're silly, it's ridiculous, but yet it works and it's really interesting and it keeps you engaged. I've actually been like laughing out loud. So I'm gonna get back to this and I'm gonna see how far I can get tonight. Okay, so like I said, I could have done a better job capturing all the reading that I did this past month. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl, guys. I hope everybody had an amazing April. I hope everybody has a great May, and I can't wait to see you guys at the end of next month. As always, happy reading.